Within my story, there's a heroic invitation to transformation, to deepening, to becoming whole. There's a heroic invitation to weave together the split off parts of my story, to take my fate and turn it into destiny, to take my brokenness and let it break me open, to realize that there's nothing more whole than a broken heart and a broken story, and to turn my story in all of its pain, right, into something that's potent and powerful. What does it mean to live my story? To live my story means A, to embrace my story. I've got to embrace it. I can't try and be in another story. For whatever reason, Cosmos placed me in this story. 1, embrace my story. 2, from the place of embracing my story, what is the heroic transformation that I can accomplish in my story? What is within my story? There's a transformation. Within my story, there's a journey. Within my story, there's a heroic invitation to transformation, to deepening, to becoming whole. There's a heroic invitation to weave together the split off parts of my story, to take my fate and turn it into destiny, to take my brokenness and let it break me open, to realize that there's nothing more whole than a broken heart and a broken story, and to turn my story in all of its pain, right, into something that's potent and powerful. Now, that's a big deal. That's the move from victim to player, right? So the second step is, right, I would call the second step, I embrace my story, right? And then, right, in the second step, I recognize in my story the pain and the beauty. I recognize the gifts and the god-awful travesty. I recognize the places I've been hurt and bullied, right? And the ways that I've been blessed, right? And held, right? And as I hold those together, and then I go on a journey. Life is not an event. Life is a journey. It seems like a simple statement. It's not. Life is a journey. It's not an event. It's not a series of events. That's what we mean. Life is not a series of numbers, right? Numbers are story. And when I connect the dots of the numbers, I disclose the story. And I understand that there's no event of my life that stands independently. What we do is we freeze frame on a particular event, and then we keep reliving that event, either positive or negative, again and again. Life's not an event, it's a story. I've got to connect the events, which are the dots, right? If you will, the numbers, and connect those dots, and I disclose the pattern, the direction of my story. And once I connect my story, then I begin to embrace my sacred autobiography, the unique story of my life, right? When I embrace the unique story of my life, then I can begin transformation, right? And that let's call transformation, if you will, 3. What's the unique transformation that's mine? What's the unique tikkun, the unique fixing that's mine, right? How do I actually turn pathology into mythology? How do I mythologize, not pathologize, right? I actually realize that my story is a great myth, but myth not in the sense of untrue, but it's my mythic life, which is my storied life, which is the unique story of my life, right? And then I engage in my unique transformation, my unique tikkun. And the key to that story, the key practice is mythologize, don't pathologize, right? Mythologize, don't pathologize. And that phrase, which comes from the literature of heroes' journeys, right, is the realization that there's a great life that I have to live, that my life is called in the lineage text of the lineage of Solomon, it's called my unique letter in the cosmic scroll. That's my myth. That's my mythology. It's my unique letter in the cosmic scroll. It's a big deal. And my unique letter in the cosmic scroll is the great story of my life, right? In which I realize I am a king and a queen. I'm a prince and a princess. Right? I'm a lord and a lady. I am literally royalty. If I don't experience myself as royalty, I am in self-delusion. I am literally ontologically royalty. I'm a good child of the universe. I'm a good child of the king and queen of the universe. And the king and queen of the universe are not regressive fantasies. They're the ontologies of reality in which the divine or the field of meaning is the infinite personhood of reality. That's what we talk about, the king and the queen. It's the good king and the good queen. It's the goodness of reality itself. And I am a good child of the good queen. I'm a prince and a princess, and I am royalty. And I experience myself as royalty. So I engage in that unique transformation, which is my unique tikkun. And that unique transformation, which is the unique tikkun, is within the context of my story and my loyalties, as opposed to my lies, right? And my I don't talk even about loyalties and lies. I would say I hold the appropriate interiorities of my life, right? I hold the appropriate privacies of my life, right? And from that place of a deep interiority, a deep privacy with my own internal heroism, I turn to the public, and this is step 4, and I offer my gifts. And I'm committed to loving. I'm committed to giving my unique gifts. I'm committed to living my unique life. I'm committed to being a unique vector of radiance. I'm committed to walking in the world and by the very beingness in the depth of my story, right? Calling people to the depth of their story. My goodness calls people to their goodness. My beauty calls people to their beauty. My truth calls people to their truth. Can you follow that with me? In other words, my entire life is about being, right, a radiant being, right, whose radiance allures and attracts. And I do that within the context of my story, whatever my story is.